Hello and welcome to another Miss Alley Cat DIY video. So today I have this adorable Hello Spring sign to show you. It was super easy to make. Everything that you need for this will be listed in the description box below. So without any further ado, let's get started. So you will need this sign from the Dollar Tree. It's shaped like an arrow. Any of the designs will work, and it has two different ways to hang this, but it is from the Dollar Tree. And then 2 sheets of moss, also from the Dollar Tree. Make sure that they're equally like the same green, because sometimes the moss colors differ. Now I want to take off, on mine it says "You're amazing," and I don't want it to say that. I want it to be completely blank. I had a little bit of a hard time with this. I was hoping it would just peel right off. In my case, that didn't happen, but what I ended up doing was putting a little bit of water on the whole thing and then just scraping it off with a razor blade. Of course, be careful. If you are a kid, get a parent or an adult to help you out. But with that being said, don't use too much water because it could end up warping the arrow. I'm not sure what the arrow is made out of, but I would say too much water would definitely warp the arrow. So yeah, just enough so that you're able to scrape it off, and if you need more, maybe get a paper towel with some water and wipe the sign with that. So that's exactly what I ended up doing. I took that wet paper towel and just kind of wiped the whole thing down. Some of the little bits were being a little stubborn, so I used it to kind of smooth the whole thing out. You don't have to be perfect with this last part. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have any more vibrant colors because those will show through the moss that we are going to put on the arrow, and you don't want that. So you just want to make sure all the vibrant colors are off of your sign. So now taking some hot glue, I'm putting hot glue on half of the arrow, and now I am going to take one of my sheets of moss and glue it lengthwise to the arrow. We will be doing this twice to cover the whole entire arrow, and after you place it on there, be sure and press it down so the whole thing can dry to the arrow. Just be careful, there are some holes in the moss sheets, so you don't want the glue to burn you. And like I said before, we're going to do this to both sides, so here I am doing the other side. Same concept, putting hot glue on half of it, and now I'm taking the moss sheet and putting it on that side. And I did end up flipping the whole thing over and just kind of pressing it down to make sure everything was nice and secure. Okay, so taking my X-Acto knife with a cutting mat underneath, I am just cutting out the shape slowly of the arrow. I do have this on fast forward, so if it seems like I'm doing it quite quickly, that is why. So I just did this all the way around my arrow until the whole arrow shape was cut out of the moss. And this is the finished result of just putting the moss on. So now let's decorate our sign. And I'm using this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. So now I'm taking that nautical rope and I'm just hot gluing it in sections all the way around the arrow. When you get to either one of the ends of the arrow, there are quite a few triangles and corners, so I suggest cutting out the exact length that you need for each space. As I am doing here, I cut out the length that I needed to fit that space, and then I went ahead and glued it down. And in the case of this end of the arrow, I did add a little bit on both of those little triangles and pinched the both sides down so that it was a nice shape. And now I am doing the same sort of thing on the other side of the arrow, cutting the exact shape that is needed for this space, and I did that all the way around the rest of the arrow. I just measured each space for the amount of rope that I needed and glued that down. And on this side of the arrow, where it was basically one big triangle, I did go ahead and glued down my rope, and then I cut it. So you kind of just have to find whatever works for you, but in the smaller spaces I found that it was easier to cut the shape out first and then glue it. Or like right here, I cut it out and then glued it down. Whatever works. And I wanted to give a close up of any time there was like a triangle within the arrow, like I am showing you here. I squeezed down both of the ends that met so that it formed more of the shape that it should, more of a pointed triangle look, and I did this on any point that formed a triangle all the way around my arrow, so they were nice and pointed ends. So taking all of the flowers that I picked out, they're all from Dollar Tree. The blue ones are daisies and the white ones are baby's breath. I'm not entirely sure what the pink ones are just because I bought them last year, but taking all of those, once I figured out where I wanted them, I just went ahead and hot glued them down to my arrow. Now taking some white paint that I have on hand, I am taking this pick that I got from Michael's. It was around $1 or $2 because it was on sale. It says Hello Spring, and I'm painting the word hello in white. And so I'm just going to go ahead and paint that. Now I'm taking this fuchsia paint that I also had on hand, and I'm going to be painting the word spring. Now I did take some of my white paint and mix it in to the fuchsia paint just because I wanted it a little bit lighter, but of course that is totally optional. And then I just went ahead and painted the word spring. And go ahead and let this completely dry, and then I'll show you what I do next with it. So once it was all dry, it was pretty easy for me to just use my hands to bend it back. Of course you can use pliers to bend it all the way back, but once I had the wire bent all the way back, I did take my wire cutters and I just snipped it right off so that it was not a pick anymore. So now it's time for the finishing touches. All I'm doing right now is trying to figure out where I want to place this little hello spring little sign. And once I figured out where I wanted to place it, I went ahead and glued it down with some hot glue. And then, as I said previously, I did end up adding one more daisy. Oh, and I wanted one of my flowers to be a little bit more open, so I glued the petals more open. So that is an idea if your flowers are kind of bending over like mine was trying to do. I am in love with how the spring DIY sign turned out. It seriously makes me want spring to be here right now. It's raining outside, and I just want those flowers that are hiding very well, might I add, to start blooming right now, because this sign says Hello Spring, and it also looks adorable next to the project I made last week. So if you want to check that out, I will put it in the upper right hand corner of your screen, and I'll put it in the description box below as well, and I might even put it at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't hesitate to pounce on that like button and hit subscribe. It means seriously so much. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, go ahead and click on that notification bell so you can be notified every single time I upload a video. I hope you all have an absolutely perfect day, and until next time, this is Miss Alley Cat DIY signing off. Bye!